1045 The Team, your home for New York sports. Joining us right now, man's got a new book out called Play On, the new science of elite performance at any age. Jeff Bercovici with us. Jeff, how did you decide to dive into the science of modern day athletes?
I got interested in this topic because I'm, a very low-level, untalented athlete myself.
Aren't we all?
Just an active. Yeah, exactly. I'm just an ordinary, active adult. But I got in about 5-6 years ago when I was in my mid-30s. I got really into playing soccer. Joined a rec team, was playing 3 or 4 nights a week, and it was my first experience of kind of aging as an athlete. Like really realizing my body didn't do what I wanted it to do, getting a lot of injuries, which were one of which landed me in the hospital. And as all this is happening, as a sports fan, I'm watching this amazing phenomenon of the sports world of people like Roger Federer, Tom Brady, Serena Williams, wherever you look, really in any sport, people who are in their 30s, even early 40s, doing things that a generation ago, it just wasn't happening very often, that athletes were still competing at that level, way past what you'd consider peak age. So I started to look a little bit into what these athletes are doing, found out a lot of interesting stuff, but also a lot of junk science. And I said, there's a story here in what athletes are doing, what really works, and what from that can be extracted for those of us who don't have access to the things you have access to as an elite athlete.
I don't want to ruin too much of the book, but is there one common theme maybe with all those athletes that we can do as maybe the weekend warriors or the intramural athlete, whatever it may be?
Yeah, I think the absolute number one thing is there's this new approach to training, this new mindset around athletic conditioning and what it means to be fit. That's really gone from sort of novel to really widespread in the sports world. That 10, 15 years ago, athletes were thinking about fitness in terms of bigger, faster, stronger. That's how you win, is by being the most jacked up or the best cardiovascular shape. And so it was just they were doing more and more and more. And then about 15 years ago, and I really date this kind of to a move by Greg Popovich, the coach of the San Antonio Spurs. He just started experimenting. He thought that his players were too exhausted, that they were carrying fatigue with them from one game to the next. It was making them play worse, and it was making them get injured more, and it was especially a problem with the older players who needed a little more rest. So he started resting his healthy players during the season. It was super controversial. He was getting fined for it by the league. The fans hated it, but the effects were so huge in terms of the team started winning championships and had the lowest injury rate in the league that other teams started copying it, and now it's actually become the new conventional wisdom that freshness, restedness and freshness are just as important to athletic performance as fitness. So you don't see this sort of mindset of when you're sleeping, I'm working. Just one more rep. Now athletes are if you talk to the ones who are the smartest and really staying the healthiest as they get older, it's all about working smarter, not harder, and really doing the least amount of work you need to support your athletic goals rather than the most.
Jeff, by this theory, I should be a dominant athlete. I've been resting for 41 years.
Well, you do need to be fit too.
Oh, all right. Well, I didn't get that part.
Listen. You watch like the Olympics now, or these athletes are all bragging about how they sleep 12 hours a day. They say they spend 12. LeBron James, he put in more minutes than anyone else in the NBA this year, but he also says that he tries to spend 12 hours a day in bed because that's how important it is. That's the kind of thing that I'm talking about.
Jeff is with us right now. His book, Play On, the new science of the elite performance at any age. Man, Tom Brady seems to be the poster child for what you're talking about right now. Is he in your book?
Yeah, yes. He is. I talked to Alex Guerrero, the guy, Brady calls him his body guru. He designed all of his wellness programs, including this diet that he sticks to, that he's gotten so much attention for. He definitely is. He definitely embodies a lot of these trends, but he also embodies some of the science that's out there that is not so scientific.
Take us into Alex Guerrero. I like how you put that. I was pretty polite. Like, is he crazy? Does he know what he's talking about? Is he somebody who could rub Belichick and others the wrong way? Could you pick up that vibe?
Yeah, I mean, he's got some episodes in his history of getting checked for doing things that were unorthodox. I don't think he's crazy at all, but he's sort of a type that you encounter a lot in the sports world, which is these people who are sort of very intuitive. He definitely has some kind of intuitive understanding of an athlete's body that he's able to really help people. But then he's also, some of the ideas that he is preaching, the ideas that underlie, this thing about pliability. It's all about pliability rather than flexibility, and there's some important distinction there. Or his idea that the way to prevent injuries is to lower inflammation in the body, and the way that you do that is by eating foods that are alkaline instead of acidic. These things are just the science behind them is just not proven, and in some cases even goes counter to what we know. So whatever he's doing for Tom Brady that works so much, it's because of the things that are also working for other athletes, who are getting older. It's not because of the unique aspects of his program.
Jeff Bercovici with us right now, and it's funny. Gaz puts on our list of questions he wants to make sure we get to. What about senior citizen athletes? Is that first to Gaz?
Yeah.
Is that because your dad is captain CrossFit?
That's right. 59 years old and killing it at CrossFit right now. It's for him.
So does your book help
awesome.
Those guys too?
Well, Father's Day is coming up, so don't forget to pick him up a copy.
Perfect.
We'll edit that out. Don't worry. It'll be his Father's Day gift. Just kidding.
I'll make a joke about your sister. It'll be fine.
I get into that a little bit. I mean, masters athletes, they're a little bit of a different breed because, it's really common with masters athletes that they're people who came to their sport late in life. They took a few decades off of competing at a high level because it is hard. Sports do take a toll on your body, and it is hard to be somebody who is dominant in your 20s, dominant in your 30s, and you're putting those hours in for every decade of your life. That's fairly rare. But one thing that's definitely has been better and better understood recently has been just like how powerful the effects of intense exercise are in terms of reversing your biological clock. Where they now think somebody who's 70 or someone, let's say your dad, 59, and if he's that extremely fit, he probably has the biological age of somebody who's literally 29.
Ooh. That's my age. No, don't tell him that.
No, he's definitely in better shape than you guys.
Come on.
But I mean, in terms of life expectancy, he's probably the equivalent of a 29-year-old.
Wow.
It's incredible. I'll take share. He's going to put that somewhere and show it off onto all his friends that Jeff said he's in really good shape right now. He's not even in his 30s yet. What's up for you next, man? What's the next project you're working on?
I'm probably catching up on my work, my day job, which is I'm an editor at Inc. magazine. I cover tech and startups. I've certainly focused a lot on these sort of a lot of really interesting sports tech and sports science startups. Especially some of these companies that say that they're helping detect the flaws in athletes' motions, in athletes' like movement patterns that cause them to get injured, and helping them fix those movement patterns. So probably just more stories like that for Inc. magazine.
Jeff has got a great book, Jeff Bercovici. It's called Play On, the New Science of Elite Performance at Any Age. Great Father's Day gift for guys to Captain CrossFit, his dad, or anybody out there. Like if you're just looking for a new way to, get the right amount of work with the right amount of rest, it sounds like, which is my favorite way to do it. So, Jeff, we appreciate it and look forward to reading the book in more depth.
All right. Thank you very much. Great talking to you.